Okay, today is all about my favorite things. Well, at least when it comes to hair. All right, we are going to dive in no specific order, but these are going to be some perfect little stocking stuffers, some gifts for friends or families, or just maybe spoil yourself. You know, we should do that sometimes. I like to do that a lot, probably too much. All right, let's dive in. So the first couple things deal with you being in the shower. I always get asked, what are your favorite shampoos and conditioners and products and all that stuff? And when it comes to shampoo and conditioner, I'm actually a big fan of Hair Story New Wash. But if you noticed, it's a shampoo and conditioner, and I'm only showing you one thing here. Well, that's because it's a shampoo and conditioner mixed into one. Now, there is something you have to know about this, and that is that if you're a fan of hair setting up or shampoo setting up on you and you feel like it doesn't work if it doesn't get suds up, you know what I mean? Then you may not love the New Wash because it's more like shampooing with a conditioner. But with all that said, it does clean your hair exceptionally well. They have multiple different kinds. And for me, it's a great price point. You're getting a shampoo and a conditioner, and it's all in one. It's honestly the only all-in-one product that I'm a fan of when it comes to shampoo and conditioner. Usually I'm not a big fan of those types of products because it's not doing either one very well in trying to do both. However, Hair Story kind of seems to crack the code on that one. And so for me, it's easy. Now, heads up, I will be leaving links in the description below where you can find all of these different products. And while this video is not sponsored by anyone at all, except for myself, there are links below that do support the channel. They are affiliate links and it costs you absolutely no more than it would cost you. And sometimes they're actually links that would save you money. However, it does support the channel because I get a small, very small kickback from them. If you want to support the channel or maybe even save yourself a buck, use the links below. Well, now the question is, what do you do when you get out of the shower? Well, that brings us to number 2 on my list, and that is towels. Yes, but a very specific kind of towel. It is this towel right here. I shouldn't say this specific towel because they have different sizes and colors and all of the things, but this towel is something that my wife actually found searching Amazon for living van life. She had seen a couple of the companies that make similar towels like this and figured maybe they'll work for living in a small space. And this has become one of our favorite towels. Not only do we use this now in van life, but we will also carry these towels into our home when we build a house. They're super inexpensive, and more importantly, they're really good at absorbing water, but they're also very soft and not abrasive. So it would be perfect to use as a towel to get the moisture out of your hair with causing minimal damage. Now, I will say this, we did actually buy them because they fold down so small to actually use as body towels for when we get out of the shower. What we found though is they don't feel amazing on your skin. They do a fantastic job of removing the moisture. They just don't feel good. So I don't know that I would recommend this as an all-in-one towel for showering or bathing. However, when it comes to getting the moisture out of your hair, this thing is amazing. So yes, these towels, definitely. All right. So that takes us on to the next thing, which is drying your hair. What products do we use? How do we style your hair? There are a ton of different products on the market. I think we all recognize that. And I do have some that I like and I do have some that I don't like, but for the most part, they're all very subjective and kind of specific to a particular result that I'm looking for. But one that I do like for most people as more of an umbrella product, this is one of my favorites, is powder from New Wash. Now, this is actually used as a dry shampoo, but I'm a big fan of using it not only as a dry shampoo, but also as a volumizing aid. It does a really exceptional job at soaking up some of that oil in your hair and also giving your hair a little bit of texture to create a little bit of volume. So the next day or the following day, or maybe even that evening when you want to spruce up the style a little bit, but you don't want to hop back in the shower or restyle your hair completely, this is a great product to spray at your roots a little bit, break it up, work it through your hair, and actually get a little bit of that root lift that can give you the illusion of having a little bit of volume. At a price point of $27.75, it's really not a bad price for what you're getting. So this has become one of my favorites for using as actually a little bit of a styling aid. Okay, and that leads us on to another one that you may or may not have seen before. And this is for people that may or may not have thinner hair, and or in some cases, if you want to hide some of that grow out that you might be experiencing from your color. And that is Xfusion. This is a hair fiber. What this does is it's a powder that actually is developed to make your hair look thicker. I'm a big fan of this. It doesn't come off on your fingers, it doesn't rub out throughout the day, and it doesn't leave your hair feeling absolutely ridiculously sticky. This is one of my go-tos for those concerns. It does a phenomenal job of actually making your hair look quite a bit denser. Now, the other reason I like to use this though is actually for the grow out line or the parting line. If you have a grow out, you can just spray some of this along the grow out and it covers up some of your hair. You rinse it out the next day, it's not a big deal and it's gone. So there's no permanent problems with this. Now I also love this because it comes in multiple different colors. So you really can match it for the color that you're looking for. Or if you've got salt and pepper hair like myself, I actually mix together to create my own custom color that's a little bit more salt and pepper. Now I personally don't love this particular top. Okay, you can use this as a way to apply it, in which case you would just kind of sprinkle it on your hair like this, right? Now to me, that's not my favorite way of applying it because it's a little bit messy and it's hard to be too specific about where you're actually applying it. So I actually like this little pump top. Now this actually gives you a lot more control over where you're actually depositing this. So you can be a lot more accurate if you're trying to get along that part line or just trying to make one particular area, maybe around the temples or so, look a bit denser. So I would splurge for the little bit extra to get this extra top. But as far as a thickening powder goes, I absolutely love Xfusion. If you've ever considered or thought about or wanted to cut your hair at home or color your hair at home, but you just felt overwhelmed by all of the possibilities of things that could go wrong, well, that's why I designed this course. If you know me, you know that this channel is all about education, teaching you about your hair. That's exactly the same principle I dove into this course with. It's got 15 videos about how to cut your hair into different styles, as well as 8 videos about how to color your hair. They're step-by-step tutorials that explain each individual process in the most simple way so that you avoid making any of the mistakes that are so likely to happen if you just randomly try to do your hair at home or jump into a YouTube video and hope that it shows you what you need to learn. It's actually myself and our color specialist Danielle walking you through the process of coloring and cutting your hair while we have a model do it to themselves while we're just telling them what to do so that you can see exactly what this process looks like from your own perspective of how you would approach it on your own versus me telling you and showing you by me doing it, because that wouldn't make any sense. So it really does simplify all of the things. Now, little side note very quickly that nobody knows, the model for the majority of the videos in this actual course both cut and colored her hair completely on her own and had never done it ever before and was terrified to do it. And it still looked amazing. If you've ever considered coloring or cutting your hair at home, I honestly believe that this particular course matched with ESalon, if you're talking about color, and you can't go wrong. You will win 100%. It's typically over $400, but is on sale now for $97. So you kind of can't lose with that. Okay, so now let's dive into a much larger topic, which is the drying kind of process. So I have 3 different blow dryers that I like, and I have 2 different irons that I like. Now these again are dryers and irons that I use. These 3 blow dryers are gonna seem very similar, but I like them for different reasons. But they all could be used for any of these scenarios. Okay, now the first one is the Dyson. Now, I've done a video all about this and I've used it in multiple different videos. And I'm a big fan for a multitude of reasons. Now this is the dryer that I use behind the chair at the salon. And the reason for that isn't because I think it does so much better than the other hair dryers that I'm gonna be showing you in a second. It's because it's got a longer cord. Now this is the professional version, so it comes with, I believe the cord's a little over 11 feet. I'll put it right here on the screen to be sure. Behind the chair, that does make it a lot easier for me to utilize this wherever I am and not have to worry about the cord getting stuck. So that's my main reason. Now I love this because it has obviously the magnetic connections and all of the different attachments that you would want to use either professionally or personally. And it's just a very solid piece of equipment. It's built well. It has the filter at the bottom, which I'm a big fan of, and is easy to clean. Now with that said, this is also the most expensive blow dryer on this list without question, coming in at roughly $400. This is not an inexpensive piece of equipment, but I've got 2 more on the list, so let's talk about the other 2. And the next dryer is the Leif & Swift. Now, I'm a really big fan of this one for a handful of different reasons. I think the price point is a much better price point, coming in at about $190. I think this is a phenomenal buy. And again, I've done another video on this where I kind of talk about some of the similarities between it and the Dyson, or the differences between it and the Dyson. It is a tiny bit quieter, doesn't quite have as high of a pitch of a sound as the Dyson does, but they're both, like I said, very solid dryers. This one also has all the same magnetic attachment with the filter in the same spot. And all in all, it's just, again, a very solid piece of equipment. Could I use this at the salon professionally? Absolutely. Would I? Absolutely. And yeah, and at home, I love this. So for me, this is something that we would have at the house where I don't need that extra cord, but at the same time, I want a very solid dryer that works exceptionally well, that also isn't hard on the budget. If I were going to recommend a dryer for you to be using at home, this would probably be the one that I would recommend. And the next dryer is from a company called SRI, Skin Research Institute. And this is the Dry Q dryer. You might be asking yourself, well, why would you have this one if you already said that you have one for personal use and one for professional use behind the chair at the salon? Where does this one fit in? Well, this one fits in because of something very handy. It is this. Yes, when you live in a van, you don't have a lot of space. And so therefore, every little space matters. So being able to fold this up like this is huge. Now, this is, like, in my opinion, the perfect travel dryer. It easily folds back out. But more importantly, this is still a very solid dryer. So while it does have that key feature, it also has great air pressure. It has red light technology, which they claim helps to stimulate hair growth and strengthen weak hair. So there's a lot of potential here. This is a little bit higher of a price point, coming in closer to $300, I think $299. But at the same time, to me, this is something, again, you could use at home that also gives you the versatility of being able to fold up and travel even easier with. This easily comes off as a filter. This is easy to clean. Pop that back on. Same magnetic connections as the other two. I'm a big fan. Those are my 3 favorite dryers, and those are the ones I use. But what happens after the dry? Let's talk about irons. Now I have 2 irons that I'm a huge fan of. And again, these 2 irons are for kind of different purposes. I use them both at the salon, and I don't use one more than the other, to be honest. My number 1 favorite iron for me is the Dyson Corral. Now, this is not the most inexpensive item on this list by any stretch, coming in at $499. It's actually the most expensive thing on this list. But this is a situation where you're getting what you pay for. I haven't seen any other irons out there that, 1, are cordless, and 2, this solidly built with this much technology that goes into helping your hair stay more healthy. With the plates being able to bend on this, it really does help to distribute that heat more evenly, which for you means that you're getting a more efficient style with more efficient heat distribution, which means that it's less passes, it's more effective, and it's causing you less damage. So all of those things are a really big win, and that to me is where that price tag makes sense. Obviously, the cordless aspect of this is a huge deal. Behind the chair, I absolutely love the fact that I don't have to have a cord flying around. I can just throw this on hair and we're good to go. As a travel iron, this is massive again. So to me, this is a big winner, but it's also at a price point, like I said, that may or may not just be in your budget, or you may not be willing to spend that on a particular iron. So that takes me into what for me was a workhorse for decades, and that is the Infra Shine. I will tell you that this iron was my number 1 go-to iron for over a decade behind the chair. I absolutely love it. And today I will still stack it up against just about any iron on the market, and it will definitely hold its own. And this is a much better price point. I used one of these for probably a decade. When I say one of them, I don't mean this iron. I mean literally one of these irons. I used the same exact iron for almost 10 years behind the chair on thousands of clients, and it never broke on me. It just kept on working. That's really why I call this thing a workhorse. But it also has a very even heat distribution across the plates. It is ceramics, so it does a good job there. So it is controlling the heat. It doesn't do it on the same level that Dyson, because those plates don't form to the actual hair. But compared to any other iron out there, it's neck and neck at a really solid price point. So if you're looking for a less expensive option, I don't think you can go wrong with the Infra Shine. I've told countless clients about it, and I've never heard anybody complain. So to me, that's definitely a way to go. The next one is ESalon. Now, you've probably seen me talk about ESalon in other videos, but I am a huge fan of what they're doing. Now, if you have never heard of ESalon, ESalon is an at-home color company that not only helps you determine what at-home color you can use on your hair to color your hair, but more importantly, they custom mix the color for you, send it to you, and there you go. Now, what I love about this particular system is that there's a deep consultation that you have to go through for them to help you determine what color is going to work for your hair. So it takes all the guesswork of you going to a store and hoping that you choose the right color. But even above and beyond that, you actually have trained color specialists at ESalon that are ensuring that you get the right color for you. And then once you've decided what color is best, or ESalon and you together have decided what color is best, they formulate this custom color just for you, and they ship it to your door, no problem. With very simple instruction on how to apply, you're good to go. Now, ESalon is about $26 a month if you continue to use the color. Now, I'm gonna throw a little link in the description below where I believe that you can get that for about $10 if you use the code and the link that's in the description. With that said, I don't know how long those links are good for. So worst case scenario, you have to pay full price. Best case scenario, you save some money. Either way, you're still kind of a win. So yeah, there's a link below. It's probably still good. It should still be good. But if it's not, depending on when you watch this video, well, now you know. Okay, and that takes us on to the next thing, which I am a huge fan of smelling good. And I don't always smell good. And again, living in a van, yeah, you're not taking showers as often as you would like, so sometimes you just have to bathe yourself in cologne. Now, I always had a problem with colognes, to be completely honest, because I could never decide which one I wanted, and there's so many. And so I knew how I wanted to smell, but then you walk into a store with 7,000 perfumes and colognes, and you're figuring out, how do I figure out which one of these things smells the way I want to smell? Always a problem, until Scentbird came along. Now, Scentbird is a subscription platform that helps you determine what scent is going to work, and then they actually send you a scent every month. You go through a list of questions, kind of a consultation, and they help you determine, based on what you like and how you want to smell, some different options of really amazing colognes and perfumes that are going to smell like that, and then you get one in the mail like this. So this is the cologne. It's an 8 milliliter bottle, so it's more than enough to last you a month. And you get to try different colognes. And what I found is they did a really good job of kind of pairing up what I wanted to smell like with a cologne that actually smelled like that I would have never known about this had it not been for Scentbird. So for me, you want to smell good, or you want your loved one to smell good, or somebody you know to smell good, check out Scentbird. It's very solid. Again, same thing. There's a link in the description. You may or may not be able to save some money on it. Yeah, check it out. Speaking of smelling good, one other thing that makes you smell good is not smelling like butt from sweating. That was a terrible segue. Yes, this right here. Lumi, I'm a huge fan of this. Not just this particular product of Lumi, just the products that they have in general. And if you're unfamiliar with Lumi, Lumi creates deodorants that are whole body deodorants. That means that you can put their products anywhere on your body. Anywhere on your body. There are hand wipes, there are creams, there is the deodorant stick like this, which smells amazing. And it also seems to last longer. I smell this not just that day, but I smell it the next day before I put deodorant on or take a shower. So for me, that's really huge because it feels like it's working better. I don't stink at all. But more importantly, this doesn't just mask odor. This actually can help prevent the odor from happening in the first place. It's a fantastic product, and there is a link again in the description below where you could be able to get your first starter kit, so 4 different items for an incredible deal. So definitely check that out below. But yes, smell good because nobody wants to be the stinky kid. Okay, everybody, that is all of the things. That is all my favorite things. That's all my favorite things when it comes to like hair and smelling good. Those are the things. So I hope that you learned something, and I hope that helped you in some way. If you want to check any of those out, do not forget to go ahead and use the links in the description below, as again, support the channel and you might save yourself a little bit of cash. And there's that. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and hang out here, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, sounds good. We'll see you later. Bye now.